Now he's widely regarded as the greatest snooker player of the modern era, with 28 ranking event wins and 5 world championships to his name. But now Ronnie O'Sullivan has swapped the bays for books and has written his first crime novel. It's called Framed. It's about a young man called Frankie James who has the weight of the world on his shoulders. His father's in prison, leaving him to take care of the family's snooker club, and Frankie's younger brother who's gone off the rails on alcohol and drink. Does it all sound a bit familiar, maybe? Well, let's speak to the Rocket himself. Morning, Ronnie.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you for joining us. What led you to writing? Why?
Well, I was approached by Ryan because obviously I'd done a couple of autobiographies with them before, and there were certain things that you do, that you enjoy, and I really enjoyed being involved in the whole process of doing my autobiographies. I think Ryan sensed that, and they kind of approached me and said, would you be interested in doing a novel? And I says, well how's that going to work? They kind of brought me in, had a chat and explained it, and I went, okay, now I can see how it can kind of work. So it was just kind of just getting my head around it at first, and then with the help of a writer, I was able to put something together which, hopefully was, there's a lot of similarities between Frankie and me and how my life has been.
Yeah, how similar then?
Quite a lot similar, because in my autobiographies I couldn't really go into much detail of certain things. I think it was more based on me and a snooker player, and alluded to a lot of what I was going on to, which was going on while I was trying to play snooker. Whereas in this book I've been able to kind of play about with it a little bit more, and I think people will be able to kind of read between the lines and see exactly what it actually was like for me.
So talking through a fictitious character, you've been able to have to explore a bit more that's gone in your life. And
yeah, because a lot of the time I wasn't able to say, mention certain names and certain people and situations, because it's just something you just don't do, and I kind of just thought, well, this was the opportunity to play about with it and kind of, give people a little insight into what was actually what it was like.
It is remarkable to think of where you've got from the childhood that you had. What age were you when your parents ended up in prison?
I was 15 when my dad went away, and I think I was about 19 when my mum went away. My dad going away was the hardest thing, because obviously, it was a really close relationship with my father, and in the book, that's again, Frankie has a massive, big relationship with his dad. So it was tough.
How did you cope with it at the time? What was your outlet?
It was a combination of things. Some days it was drink, other days it was getting down the gym, other days it was just trying to keep a snooker career on track. Other days it was just trying to do my mother and father proud.
Because you still loved your dad, clearly, but is there any kind of associated sense of shame with the fact that he's a convicted criminal? How do you kind of marry those two together?
Not really, because I just think at the time it was just sort of, listen, he's my dad, and I know he's got a heart of gold, and everyone that's met him says the same thing. It's just that, things happen, and it was regrettable what happened, and if you could turn back the clock, these things wouldn't happen. But obviously, he's been great support to me, and me to him, and you just have to be there for each other, and. Yeah, it was tough, very tough. And
it's a kind of easy, and I'm, reluctant to sort of just drag up the pop psychology, but to say this made you more determined as a snooker player. But how do you think it did impact on the way that then you kind of went on to direct the rest of your life?
I was always determined, I didn't need a circumstance like this to sort of, to make me think, I want to, prove myself. I've always been like that. I think it held me back for maybe 6-7 years. I kind of lost myself for a bit, but I think that the voice of my dad in the back of my head saying that I was going to be a champion one day, this and that, it made me think, right, I need to kind of sort myself out, and that's when I sort of checked myself into the Priory, face my addictions and stuff, and from that point on, from the age of 25, I've literally sort of turned things around, and I've become the person I always was meant to be, really.
Yeah, and I think people will be interested in reading this. Well, lots of people for all sorts of reasons, but perhaps people who've been through similar experiences in their lives. Do you have any advice to, I don't know, particularly young people, teenagers, people going through what you've been through who have family members in prison?
Yeah, I just think, you just at some point you have to kind of, I know it's a hard thing to say, but you have to kind of cut off from it all emotionally. You have to go, right, well, that's where they are. And I still have a life to lead, and I need to do it for myself, where a lot of the time I was doing it for everybody else, trying to keep everyone happy and trying to, and that's natural instinct kicks in that makes you do that. But the moment I started just being a little bit more selfish, I think, and concentrating on my own career and living my own life, I think I then started to feel, the pressure kind of releasing off me. But a big thing for me was winning my first World Championships. Once I'd done that, I felt like I'd done my father proud, and I could kind of just relax then and just get on with my career and my life.
Yeah, but you're still doing, of course. George has been following your progress.
Yes, morning to you, Ronnie. Where
How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate, thanks. Where does snooker rank in your life right now? How high does it rate?
I'm still very competitive. Obviously, I've looked to branch out. I'm doing stuff with Eurosport now, punditry-wise. I'm trying to visualise what the next 10, 15, 20 years is going to be like. I can't imagine I'm going to still be winning tournaments in 5, 6, 7 years. So it's just making that transition period. Writing this novel has been fantastic, something I've really enjoyed doing, and hopefully people enjoy reading it, and we can kind of do another one after that. I've also done a series in America. We went to America to do a show that's coming out in January called The Hustle, and I've kind of embraced them sort of things because snooker can be very, very, very stressful, and I've done it for a long, long time, and I still just kind of want to have it there, and in the back, not in the background, but something just that I just kind of pick up when I feel like, and take breaks from it when I feel like, so yeah, it's in my blood, and nothing that ever replaced that buzz, but there's more to life than snooker.
Will there be a 6th world title, or has that ship sailed, do you think?
No, listen, anything's possible with me. I mean, I've stopped trying to predict what I'm capable of and what I ain't capable of. All I do know is on my day, I'm a match for anybody. And I did say a few years ago, when I'm done and finished, I'll let you know, because there are people that have doubted me, and I'm still not done yet. I'm still capable of winning. Whether I win another one, who knows? But I certainly have that desire.
And whenever you do talk about retirement, Ronnie, which you do quite often, I guess because of your love-hate relationship with snooker, the counter-argument seems to be, what would Ronnie do without snooker? He'd be lost without it, wouldn't he? What would you do if you stopped?
No, that's why I've started to do other stuff like with Eurosport, and I've started to look for things that I enjoy, and I found 2 or 3 things now that I really enjoy, and I know now that if I never played snooker I'd be fine. So in a way I'm now playing snooker because I want to, not because I have to. And it is right, everybody needs a purpose in their life, and I've realised that, and snooker's been that purpose. But at some point, I'd like to sort of find another purpose, and running's been great. There's so many different things that I can now, do, which stops me from getting bored. But snooker's something I still love, and I haven't said I'm going to retire for the last 5 years. I've taken time out, but I never said I was going to retire. All I've done is taken time out, and I'll probably take some more time out if I feel like it. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to come back again.
Well, a great literary career may be in front of you. Who knows, Ronnie?
That'd be great, wouldn't it? New J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, although I have a feeling that this may not be entirely suitable for children in all parts.
No.
Having had a quick flick through some of the language anyway. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
Ronnie O'Sullivan there. His new book is called Framed.